What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Huddle, the number one podcast in flooring. We are here every single week to help you guys gain forward progress in your career. Simply put, we are here to help you win. Sorry for the tongue tie. Sometimes I get it like bam,
It's
you
cold
know.
outside, brother. You got an
Most of the
Yeah.
excuse.
time, no.
Yeah, so welcome to the team, to all our new viewers. Today's sponsors, Divergent Adhesives and NAFCT. A couple shout outs there on Divergent. If you need an adhesive built for today's tough conditions and short timelines, look up the old Divergent and go to Divergent Adhesives. NAFCT, one of the number one training organizations in the marketplace, specifically talented at their resilient training, do a lot of preparation like concrete prep, moisture testing, that kind of thing. We are trying to put one of those together, by the way, for here in Wichita, Flash Cove Heat Welding course, 5-day course. We will be in touch soon about that if you'd like to join us.
Like
Also,
super
wanted
soon.
super soon. It's going to be one of them quick turnarounds. We got about 15 to 17 guys that are interested, trying to get it all to coordinate and come together is like being an air traffic controller that's missing an arm and maybe an eye. It's pretty complicated to get it all put together, but the NAFCT people are working diligently to make it happen. So if you are in the Midwest and want to look at it, keep in touch, stay in touch with the Huddle and our social posts and such. We will be bringing that to you as soon as we get it locked down. Also, wanted to mention Live Switch, a new sponsor of ours. Want you guys to check out Live Switch. It costs you nothing to scan that QR code that's on the screen and give it a look, man. It's not hard to do. I've done it several times myself on some projects. It's really freaking cool. I think it's going to blow you away. You got to go try it though. I can't tell you enough about it. It's I'm going to end up doing a live video and then have that as the promo because I can't really tell you how awesome it is. You just got to go experience it. So scan that QR code. And then last but not least is TradeTap's VTI, the Verified Trade Index. It's coming down the pipe at the first of the year. If you would like to get out ahead of the curve, send me an email, paul@trade-tap.com. Name, email address, phone number, and your favorite floorings that you install, and I'll get you pre-set up. And we are, again, going live with the VTI right after the first year. That will be replacing Go Carrera's hammer rating, as you may know it, 0 to 5. Yeah, so that's all the announcements. Don't forget to little house cleaning. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Always join us here live on the Huddle. As many of you are coming on live right now. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. We've got
Smile, man.
Christmas coming. Christmas coming in a couple days, and I love this time of year getting together. I don't like the disruption, as today's topic is crisis management and how to deal with and prepare for unexpected disruptions. I am actually reading a book called Disrupt Everything and Win, and it's about this topic. So it's pretty cool. I'll bring some insights from that book up as the topic allows. And other than that, happy holiday. Today we got Matt with us. What's up, buddy?
Hey, doing great.
Yeah, where are you at? Where are you
I'm
located?
actually, so I'm, my business is out of Texas, San Angelo, Texas, and I'm actually in California right now, where I was born and raised, visiting.
Oh yeah, holidays. See,
Yep.
that's why they're great, man. Well, enjoy the time out there. Well, speaking of disruptions, let's get right into it. What is, I thought we just a good place to start would be just to um, get each person's kind of 20-second view on what it means. What is a disruption? The topic is kind of on the negative side, crisis management being the first one. But if you think of tech companies and really like disruptive technology, it's looked at as a good thing. It's disrupting something. So yeah, whoever wants to jump in and talk about
I was trying
that.
to interrupt Matt yesterday, but he didn't text me back until today, and I was like, "We're about to do the podcast." He said, "I'll do it." I said, "Come on, let's go."
I
But
love it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
I
always
think it
prepared.
depends on it depends on where you're at in the industry, right? Because we can have disruptions on our side, like supply chain, especially right now where it's like everything is ordered. We get a date, and then that date that sometimes it'll be like 2 days before it's supposed to be delivered, and then they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be another 3 weeks. And
Yeah.
then on the flip side, it's, I mean, I guess that's installation too, right? Because that's all right. Well, now I don't have anything for this day. What am I gonna plug in there?
Let's be honest. There are many more things that could go wrong than could go right. Right? If you're an installer working out of your van, disruption is losing your van, going down during a busy time, deadlines, holidays. What do you do? That's a disruption. So maintenance. Um, Another thing too is holidays. People want to spend time with their family. Having too much work, it could be a disruption, right?
Or having not having enough
Or
work.
not having enough. It's hard to balance. Um, Coming down and getting sick, like that's a disruption. It disrupted me yesterday.
Yeah. Matt, you want to give your oh, there he is. Well, I'll
Mhm.
tell you what, one thing about disruption is there's different levels. Like you guys said, there's always some type of disruption, but um, and they can be negative or positive, as I kind of pointed out right out of the gate. Like if you're disrupting in a positive manner, disrupting a stagnant, old antiquated system, or disrupting an old antiquated industry, or the kind of um, status quo of how something's done. AI is disrupting our entire economy. It's disrupting many people's businesses. Like these are big disruptions. Also, uh, like to give you an example for a personal example, I've lost two major people in my two companies over the last 6 months. Our my co-founder in Go Carrera is now just a shareholder and not in the day to day, and that was a major disruption because he was the tech guy, picking up all those pieces and figuring that out was incredibly stressful. And then just this week, our controller, our head of finance here at my flooring company, resigned. She was with us for several years, and obviously gave a 2 week notice. Everything was good there, but I mean, it's still a major disruption. And I would tell people from those bits of experience, keep your cortisol levels down and your stress level from going through the roof. Disrupt Everything, that book really resides with me as I'm reading it, because it's like if you're constantly challenging yourself and you're constantly disrupting your systems and your processes and the way you do things, you're used to change. The people who have the hardest time with these kind of out of the blue disruptions and have real hard time handling them um, are ones that are really stagnant and kind of set in their ways. And then you see a disruption come, even an industry disruption, and they don't look at it as what's positive there. they're dealing with the negative part. They focus on the negative part, and they almost bathe in it. So if you can constantly be improving yourself, constantly be disrupting yourself, you're better suited to deal with the out of the blue disruptions.
Yeah,
That
like
kind
I
of goes
said,
along with the gentleman that we saw speak in at the last event. Um, the one who's juggling and on the unicycle and juggling and doing all that. I
Yeah,
forget
what
what
was
his
that
name of it.
topic?
Um, it was
It
something
was
intentional. It was something around
uncomfortable,
intention.
being uncomfortable all the time. Essentially, is kind of
Right.
what I forget the head of that topic. That's a good point. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a
and
great.
it's you got to get used to being uncomfortable, right? Because as soon as you get comfortable, that's when you let your guard down and you're just not going to be prepared.
Georgie says a lot of carpets are back ordered at the end of the year,
Yeah, I got
and
two jobs
he
that
he he
have
uh he
long
corrected
lead
himself
times.
here. Processed early. I always tell clients to make sure they check if that style is available in case they want a quick installation, which around this time of the year, everyone wants that quick turnaround.
Yeah. So when you get into, as the topic says, crisis management, what is that? Out off balance on purpose. Thank you,
Off,
Nate. That was the topic.
yeah.
My man Nate coming through. Yeah, it's I think that's a perfect parallel to what the this book kind of points out is when you're off balance on purpose and you're always trying to a little bit of nuance to the off balance guys presentation was that um, the the idea was that he was challenging the status quo, disrupting the status quo that we try to find work life balance as if it's a destination. And his that whole talk, what I got out of it anyway, I know people get different things out of these, a speaker, but one of the things I got out of it was you're constant. If you're constant or you're off balance on purpose is probably a better way to approach it, then it's not a destination. You're constantly balancing. It's a constant balance. Sometimes it's a little heavier on work, sometimes it's a little heavier on family. In trying to schedule this next NAFCT course with Daniel, he's off balance on purpose. I mean, you got some stuff coming up that's going to be off, putting you in that same thing where family has to come first, and then even after that, you mentioned you got, softball or football, baseball season
Baseball.
starts, and it's like, so you have those, and you're constantly off balance. And if you're off balance on purpose, then it kind of addresses this same topic of preparing for these crises or these events that happen,
Curveballs.
these disruptions, these curveballs, to use a
Whatever you
good
want to call it, right?
softball analogy. Yeah.
Yeah. Rollins says always be prepared for the unexpected, makes the unexpected flow easier. And I think like with a lot of people, especially on the installation side, we're like ADD, right? And if you don't think you're ADD, you will get tested and you're probably ADD. That's just like the installer mentality, I think. And that's one thing that we are, right? We're easily distracted. But one thing is once we're focused on something, it's hard to distract us from that one thing. And that's what it's like being like in the field, installing this, and then what do you do if this happens? Like for instance, the guys were on a job site last week and they're like, well, this isn't ready. I was like, we got two more floors, guys. Like, what's going on this floor? What's going on this floor? Is there anything you can do? And those are the things that you got to look at.
Yeah, and just to touch on what Rollins said about being prepared, uh, I think it's like you're never prepared, but it's the act of preparing that get that that action that kind of at least gets you ready for the unexpected. He the uninspected, I think he's talking about a flooring there, but the unexpected, I think, is what he was saying. Uh, at the end of the day, if you get I think the idea is don't get comfortable in anything you're doing, right? Like um, positive chaos. That's another great kind of parallel to this whole idea that the more you disrupt, the more you're off balance, the more you just understand that the world is ever changing and you change with it and you change along and you look for those positives. Uh, Jose mentioned earlier, like a lot more could go wrong. I disagree, brother. I mean, one of the things I take note of is how many things have to go right just for your car to go down the street. I mean, all those wheel bearings, you have tiny explosions happening in that motor all the time. Like how much has to go right just for you to make it to work? Like a lot more goes right than we give it credit for.
Then
We
we give
just
it
tend
credit
to
for.
look at the negative side and focus on that. Being a positive disruptor in and like trying to make change in yourself.
I'm not,
One of the notes that I took and is it says leaders must disrupt themselves first. You can't ask people to change what you refuse to change. So you got to realize that always disrupt the status quo. That's what prepares you to deal with disruptions when they come up, those unexpected ones. Just a few notes from the book. It was kind of interesting that this topic came right when I picked up that book. I've got a goal this year to read 100 books, and I'm cheating a little bit. I've got a head start. I'm 2 in, and hoping the Science of Scaling was the first book, and I'm on this Disrupt Everything and Win is my second. So
like it. I like the way that the outlook. You're right. There is a lot of things that can go right, or that have to go right in order for it to be right. If the dwelling on the one wrong thing out of everything that went right, there's still a lot of things that went right to get to the point where something goes wrong, right?
yeah.
Right?
Hey, I thought you was talking about a subfloor.
Crisis management and spell check, right?
Yeah,
Spell check's not gonna get everything.
It just reminded me of the Bruce Lee. It'd be like water.
yeah,
Water can flow, water can crash. Put it in the pot, it becomes the pot. Put it
yeah.
in the cup, it becomes the cup.
Dude, I love that about you, Jose, bringing up some Bruce Lee stuff.
Bro,
Hey, that's perfect, though. I mean, it's the
Enter the
most
Dragon. It's a Christmas
destructive,
movie, bro.
it's the most destructive force in the world,
Yep.
and it's the most sustaining force in the world. Think of that. That is truth. Water. Bruce Lee, baby. Come on, Bruce.
Hey, bro, Enter the Dragon's a Christmas movie.
That is a
Matt
good
said
one.
that his Wi-Fi over at his dad's house isn't the greatest, and I said old people don't have good Wi-Fi.
It's not on their priority list.
It's not even Wi-Fi. It's dial-up hooked up to an antenna.
Tell him to get up and mess with the bunny ears. If he's old enough, he'll know what those are.
Oh, he is.
No, we'll get him on another one.
So just to keep the conversation going here, another little excerpt from the book is if you don't disrupt your own habits, systems, and assumptions, that's the big one, assumptions, the world will do it for you on the worst terms. So you set the terms better if you're constantly disrupting your own habits and systems. Assumptions are big because they're terrible, right? Like you're making assumptions and stuff. If you don't challenge those, you become what we call judgmental. And you do that enough, you become an asshole. That's what we call them.
Man,
uh,
I got stuff to add to that, but I'll hold on
add
for the
it.
right moment.
That's
Add
what we're
it.
here for.
So, how do you how do you not become that asshole, so to speak, when you kind of set the dominoes up for success and series of events lead others not to use the information the way it's supposed to in order to have that success that you have set up? How do you not? How do you find yourself being lenient, so to speak?
I don't, well, if that's a question, I would tell you that for me that it's not leniency, it's perseverance. People don't follow um in my experience, people don't follow what you do once or twice or what you tell them to do. It's they follow your behavior. If they follow your way of being, and kind of goes right into, you know, this whole idea that uh, you know, most organizations, and for that matter, like most installers, they're not stuck. They're comfortable. A lot of people get really
Mm.
comfortable in their position, and when you give them new ways of doing things, they're so comfortable they don't want to move. Like our minds are built to be comfortable. Like we want comfort.
Really?
We're always struggling. I mean, at large,
Yeah.
we're always struggling to survive and get comfortable. Like it's it's especially in a more modern day. Back in the, you know, the ancient days, you were just trying to survive, but you're really always seeking comfort, shelters for comfort, food, anything over like, you know, you can live on a few hundred calories a day and not die for a long, long time. I mean, anything past that is comfort. You know, there's a little bit of water will let you survive. I mean, we're always chasing comfort. The problem is that, or the challenge, I should say, is that as we reach a new comfort level, is to disrupt yourself and always be changing. We talk about that all the time on the podcast
Hmm.
about always learning, always challenging yourself, always trying to get better. That's what this kind of uh, uh, points to. You know, I love that Jorge brought up Bruce Leroy.
Who's the master? Come on now, dude. That was one of my favorite. I'm gonna go watch that movie later. I'm gonna try to. I'll probably fall asleep, but
That movie's funny as
did you know
heck.
that that's a Christmas movie?
What, Bruce Leroy? Come on,
Yeah,
bro.
100%. 100.
100.
Well, Hennet.
100.
So, do you guys have some? I'll leave you. Let me say this another thing and see what you think about this. The book poses disruption as a behavior and not an event. So I think what it's saying is essentially um, off balance on purpose. All of those kind of play right into it. So disruption isn't necessarily a, you know, and it doesn't always have to be an event. It's a behavior. It's are Do you have a positive behavior or a negative behavior? Like, are you positive or negative? And a lot of times that's going to dictate what type of disruptions you experience, at least which types you focus on and put your energy into.
I think I think it goes both ways. I think you disrupt in a positive, like me, disrupt in a positive way for X amount of time, and every now and then everybody hits that like brick wall where they're is sick of trying to be the positive one all the time, or the one trying to. They feel like, anyways, in their world, they're the one making the change. You hit that brick wall, then you become negative Nelly for a little bit, or what's that, Debbie Downer for a
Debbie
minute,
Downer.
until someone comes behind you, gives you a little swift kick and says, "Hey, dude, it's time to reset." And then you kind of reset the thought process, and you're like, "Yep, it is time to reset." And that's where the refresh comes in on some of the events that we attend.
Well, it's
So,
not only that, it's you got to have some you got to do it for yourself, right? It's not just focusing on other people, and that's why we read the books or we listen to the books. And I mean, I had baby sister take this one. This is a book that I got. Actually won this. Well, we didn't actually win the award that time, but we got a free book out of the deal, and that's all it is, man. It's just being positive, and that's what he did. He put a bunch of positive stuff in this book, and then published it so that way when you're having a hard time. I even told my wife to look at it, and I said just scroll to a page and just read something, and you can find meaning in it, right? And like
Give us a
creativity is
couple. Give us a couple.
so creativity is not something you do; it's how you do everything.
A little
Uh,
Reader's Digest.
Yeah.
it is not important to show students how much you know. It is important to teach students what you know.
Boom. I like that one.
Yeah, because you get those people that are like trying to. It's not about you, man. It's about the people there
I've
that are
heard
there
I've
trying to
heard
learn.
that I've heard that same thing put similar. Uh, you don't show you're not trying to show people how much you know. You're trying to show them how much you care, which is in essence why I mean, educators educate in some manner. Like there's not a lot of uh, now coaching's different, but educating is a lot. I mean, you better have a passion to educate.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, Rolland is a good example, right? Because every time I've talked to him, he's never, other than his wall of fame in his office, right? But he's never like me, me, me. He's always like, what can I teach everyone? And that's
Hmm.
why we love Rolland. And he said that unexpected is when his 9-year-old walks up and says, "Hey, bro, what you doing?"
Oh, that sounds like
Oh my.
that's perfect grandson behavior right there.
Right. And this one says, job title does not determine capacity. In fact, most often it either overstates or underestimates it. And that's the book
Yeah.
that I'm listening to right now. I'm actually listening to leadership. Not that book. It's 5 levels of leadership, and that's what it says, right? So it's not the title that makes you. It's you working towards that, right? It's most people think I'm gonna work for this title, but in reality, you've been that title all along. You just have to work your way up to it. And a lot of the crisis management is in the industry has been the the labor crisis is what they call it, right? And we talk
Yeah.
about it all the time that it's not an actual labor crisis; it's a qualified labor crisis, right? It's labor shortage, whatever you want to
Well,
call
and
it.
that's us disrupting the definition of what they're saying. I mean, challenging honestly challenging and disrupting the not only the way that it's posed, but doing something about it. I mean, we as a group here have done a lot of things over our careers trying to improve the industry's labor pool. I call it the health of the network in trade tap. Increasing the skill and ability of the entire installation community. Uh, you got to challenge the default process that's there, and it's uncomfortable. It takes what we were talking about earlier, Jose, is perseverance, and the adoption of things only come when people see that you're not going away, when your employees see that you're not going to let something down. An old mentor of mine used to say, you got to evangelize, and think about that word, how what it's comparing to an evangelist at say a church. You got to evangelize your purpose and your I wouldn't say goal, but whatever process system or whatever you're trying to change. And those those things are how you create positive change, in my opinion, is persevering through that episode or that type of scenario you were talking about earlier, Jose, where you post something that is you think is a good thing for the people that are are in your company or in your family or what have you. And it's easy to like say, well, no one's listening, you know, and you gotta just keep persevering, keep pushing through.
Sounds like something I already do. Then just be that annoying, that annoying person. Like, hey,
Be
gotta keep at it.
be brave enough to be bold, and you're one of those people. You're one of your unique abilities, dude, is that you are not scared to get embarrassed. You're not scared to put
Never.
yourself out there, and that's a unique personality trait you have that you have and can continue to leverage. Is it you're going to say what you really feel is best, and sometimes whether you take shrapnel over it or not, you're willing to say that. Now, in your example anyway, I know you're the guy that perseveres, but in your example, you just have to continue to persevere and believe in your solution.
Where there's a way, there's a Jose. I can tell you that.
Rollins says that the wall's up for one reason, and that's to close sales. He loves watching his clients walk in and read it. It's all about marketing. But actually, it's more than just that, because a lot of these guys see that wall on the inside of the industry and are like, I'm trying to be like Rollin. And that's what
Yeah, I think
I
it's
don't know, Rollin, if you see that or not, but there is quite a few people that are like, I'm trying to get on that level.
I think it's inspiring more than Roland gives it credit for. It certainly is. Like,
Well,
dude, we got him in on started getting when he gets his VTI out. He's five hammered. Like he pegged the algorithm.
boom.
He is the guy, and we'll see on the new scale. The VTI has 8 levels for people like him. He challenged me, his profile, and not even a handful of others. I'd say one other challenged the way we were approaching it. That we didn't know enough Rollins when we developed it, and so it's um, it's expanded a little bit. And I think he'll peg it. I think he'll still peg it out. But the cool thing is he is a trendsetter. He is the challenger. He is the guy that goes
Hey,
and gets
And you need
like
those people.
he put you off
yeah,
balance, bro. He put you off balance, right?
in the
He
best
got,
of ways.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not sometimes that unintentional off balance causes growth, and I just it'd be nice for everyone to challenge themselves to be off balance at some point in their life and see how much they grow from it.
Well, I think the point is continuously because it will help you
Hmm.
deal with challenges that come out of the blue better if you're constantly challenging yourself. You know, um, I was talking to one of my employees earlier, and I was like, he was telling me about a guy that was in his mid 50s and had a heart attack, and how this guy's just always when he goes out, he's a mover. uh, like we work with him in tandem on some of our big corporate stuff, lift systems, moving furniture, that kind of thing. And he'll get in there and just start tearing up carpet. And I've never met the guy, so this is straight from Joel's mouth, who works here at our company. He's our COO. um, but the gentleman, I guess, is just like going crazy, just going wild with stuff all the time. And I'm like, I know plenty of guys like that. It's the key is not, it shouldn't be stressful. It's just who you are. You're just the go getter that can't stand around, but keeping your cortisol level from going through the roof, that is stress, and number one cause for those heart attacks. But if you constantly are challenging yourself, you're conditioning yourself to be able to deal with major disruptions in your life without getting overstressed. And one thing that I'll say, that this is not who I've been my whole life, but I am much more of a calm person. Um, these disruptions that I've, you know, dealt with in the last, year or so, they've been like, I still sleep at night. It's not, I mean, I know a time when, dude, if one employee quit, it could be a helper and it stressed me out. I thought, you know,
Oh, well, we know.
you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I can't, does he not like me? You know, you start all this, what did I do wrong? It's like, dude, stuff changes, people change, people have their own initiatives and goals in life, and that's fine. That doesn't mean that you're a bad person or they're a bad person when things like that happen. It's just change. And the people
Yep.
that are I the theme that I'm proposing is that the more you are embrace change and uh, purposely off balance, as the speaker said, is conditioning you to deal with the unexpected stuff, you know, and you find the, I mean, I've got a ton. I don't even know if it's silver linings. I just look at it like, well, this was meant to be, and you know, maybe something is gonna be better out of this. I believe that something better is gonna come out of that disruption. That's just how I look at it now, and it's because you're if you constantly challenge yourself, you know.
Yep. Same thing as every
You
time
guys
we've
do it
had.
all the time.
Every time, man. Every time we've had one of the. Look, there's a time when we would be so stressed out when things would happen like that. That we'd be like, great, we did this. We trusted this person. We trusted this was going to work. We tried to make these changes for everyone except for us, and and we've had those moments where we're like, f this, f that, and now it's just like, okay, I guess, hey, let's just move on. Guess what? We have to change some rules, some expectations within ourselves, and we got to find a way to put it in literature for the guys and move on. We're gonna move on. We're gonna evolve. That's
Denise just said she just realized Matt's not on. His signal at his dad's house wasn't the greatest, so he wasn't able to
His
stay on.
Wi-Fi got disrupted. You
we have
bring
a
up a
group in
good
the.
point, dude, is one of the things you guys do, what you just described that is pretty cool is what can we do better when something happens? And it's certainly something we're looking at with systems and stuff. When somebody leaves is how can we not let it be as big of a disruption and have bring the negative effects of a disruption, I should say. And it's what you just described. You're talking about improving stuff because something happened. I mean, that is the key to your success.
What
Super
did
cool
Daniel
for you.
say a while ago? Uh, if we didn't have specifics in some of the literature that we gave them, then we have to take ownership of that too. Even though to us some of the things might be common sense. If you create
Common
a
sense
system,
isn't that common.
I was
yeah,
gonna, dude, you stole the words out of my mouth.
if you
Chris
create,
says that keep positive through the tough stuff to keep the stress down, jobs flow better.
yes, yes,
But
100%.
like you said, it's common sense for us because that's how we've always done it. It's not common sense for someone that
Correct.
comes in and hasn't worked side by side with us for years. And the people that have worked side by side, yeah, it's common sense for them too. And then it's real easy to get frustrated instead of being like, what can we do in order to get this not to happen again?
hmm Personal accountability in those situations. I mean, what can I do better? That's really all we can control anyway. You can't
That's it.
control how other people act or react or do something. You can, give guidance and mentorship to people, but at the end of the day, uh, many more books get read and not applied than the opposite, and like Chris just said, keeping positive through tough stuff keeps the stress down.
And I tell the
It's
guys
so
too, right? Because
true, but you got
especially
to put yourself through tough stuff. It's like exercising. If you get up off the couch and you never run and you just get up and sprint for 6 blocks, you may have a heart attack. But if you've challenged your
I will.
body time and time again, and then you get up and do the same thing, right? Your body reacts differently. Your mind is a muscle, and the more you condition that mind to deal with tough stuff, your jobs will flow better. From an installer's perspective, man, I remember times losing my, yeah, I'd be so embarrassed if people had video, and I would probably be on TikTok as a maniac when I was first installing. Like, stuff wouldn't go right, and I would act like a child throwing a temper tantrum. Um, it's
Dude, that's
really
like shake a guy off a
embarrassing looking
ladder.
back at it. I, yeah, like it was a real thing just because you wouldn't, because I had to sweep up a pile. Our egos are part of the deal. They play a big part in that. My ego got shattered that day, and I was willing to hurt somebody physically because of it. It's insane to say out loud, but that's what it was.
And when you're dealing with teams, right, that's I think one of the biggest crises is the actual in the field. It's like two people, everyone is strong headed. So, get two people out there and they're like, hey, do it this way. And they're like, always question it. Why would I do it that way? And it just becomes a huge argument. And it's like, guys, like sometimes you got to just take a step back and be like, all right, let me rethink this. And I say, me and this dude over here go through it, even in the office. It's like, and I tell him, like,
Uh,
I'm like, all right, let's just do it the dumbest way possible, just so to make you happy. And then sometimes
yeah,
I'm like,
and
oh
then
shit,
that's what we do it Daniel's way.
that did
But
actually
yeah,
work. So you just have to keep that open mind. You got to be able to pivot, right? And you can't just, it's not a straight line from here to the goal. It's things are going to happen. What are you going to do in order to
yeah,
pivot to
man.
that next step?
Look, sometimes you got to realize that we're grown ass men. We don't always need to have that kind of advice, but you gotta listen to it sometimes. Let me take a drink of my juice box.
What's
I'm a
it's
grown
funny
ass
you
man
bring
with a
that
juice
up,
box.
because my next point that I have written down here is refusing to accept that this is how we've always done it. We see that a lot in the installation world, is this is how we've always done it. And same in a lot of businesses that stagnate. This is how we've always done it. And you got to refuse to accept that. Again, it's change, embracing change, being willing to be off balance, or, and literally part of that is not just being off balance, you're just balancing in a different manner. The teeter totter doesn't have to hit the ground. It's just one thing's a little less important than the other at that given moment, you
Yeah,
know?
and the this is always how we've always done it. You know what? I don't even know if I even say that anymore. It's like this is how we currently do it. This is what we currently have. This is what we're doing right now. This is how we've changed, right? Like I don't even
I love that
I can't even say that
you
anymore. Like this is
say,
how we've always done it. I can't even
yeah,
say that.
changing your vernacular, your language around that is powerful, because that's the truth. Like, that's how you're currently doing it. Not sure if that's going to be that way in 6 months
Things
or not.
change. One of
Yeah.
them says his salesperson gets upset when he doesn't get the sale. He tells them to stop worrying about it and just thank them for giving the chance to help them and wish them the best. The next door will then open. And that's 100% true. And that's what I started doing. I'm like, thanks for the opportunity. If you have any
Yep.
questions, we didn't get the project, but if you have any questions, definitely feel free. And that just, you got to have that positive mindset all the time. It's,
Look, every time you
Yeah,
don't
and
get a
that's
project,
tough. That is
yeah,
tough. What he just said and what you just said is tough. I still
it,
have to fight not getting bitter, especially if I put a significant amount of time into a project in design, or my heart into trying to help the person out, and then they go somewhere else. Uh,
yes.
it's a challenge to not get bitter over that. And what he just described is the same thing. You walk someone through this whole deal, and you find out you didn't get the thing, didn't get the job, didn't get the project, and you're like, but it is, check yourself, you know, keeping that positive. Like, hey, man, you were one of the, your reframing is important. and that's one of the things that this book, as well as uh, many books, talk about. Simon Sinek will talks about this as well, and I know Daniel loves him. Is reframing, like you were one of, if you got 10 or 15 different flooring companies, for example, in your area, you were one of the two or three that they talked to, that they considered, and reframing it to like, hey, I'm in the top 1% of that. I didn't win, but man, I got close.
Almost there.
Right.
check
That's
check
what one has
yourself
to.
before you wreck yourself.
And it's funny you say that, Daniel. I just had to have this conversation. I didn't have to. I got a phone call. I had a conversation with another flooring store that we work with, and she was pretty upset about a recent loss, right? Because she put a lot of time and effort into the design and the specs and all that. And this is one of the things that's been happening for like 2 years. And to find out it went somewhere else, and she's like, I just want to know why. Like, I just want to know why. I was like, well, just email them and say thank you for the opportunity and what can I do to be better for you next time? I'm sorry it didn't work out. She's like, you want me to be nice when I did everything for them? I'm like, you can't be mean
It's
because then they'll never
easy. I
call you.
mean, dude, it's so easy to get mad over those things.
It is, but you
It's
can
funny.
still be
That is
mad.
your
Just be mad by yourself. Like, because that's to someone
So
else, not the
it's your
client.
correct,
your
correct.
first
And
reaction is like, oh, I can't believe they
uh,
did that,
It
you
is.
yeah,
know?
And that's, I mean, I've been there too, right? Because it's like, oh, I really wanted that one. I really, really wanted that one. And then that's when you start looking at them as opportunities, right? Because there's been projects that I've lost, but then we've gotten something else. And it's like, man, if I would have said yes, if we would have gotten that project, I wouldn't have had this opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, that reframe is crucial to getting through a lot of these disruptions that you just naturally are going to happen. Disruptions, another thing that is maybe not clearly written in the book. It's just, how you read a book and you start to get like these your own thoughts about
oh
the
yeah,
subject line, is that they're going to happen to you regardless. Like change and disruption is going to happen regardless. You're going to get disrupted. Things that you don't expect. And you can either be prepared for them, and preparing for them means it's not planning for them, it's preparing your mind and your body to accept whatever comes your way, and deal with it in a positive manner, and reframe it to, hey, I like what Ed Milet, a mentor of mine in the past, has to say about this. He says things happen for you and not to you. So, kind of reframing those things, that this is happening for you, not to you. And that's how I reframed losing our head of finance. Like, I don't have one right now. As we sit and speak, I've got people picking up the ball to get payroll and taxes paid, and we're right at the end of the year, and we have, got to close out our year and all that stuff, and I don't have anybody driving that part of that bus, and but it happens for you, not to you.
it makes you go back and look at what kind of holes can I fill so to avoid this for the next one. What safeguards do I have to create? And that's part of the evolution of any business, any person, any situation. And you said that it happens for you, not to you. You're right. Everything that I've experienced through life, I use all of that information when moving on to something new. I use all of it, from being in school, being being the little fat kid that got bullied, to like every experience, interaction I've ever had with people, positive or negative. I use that to read a room. I use that to apply to what crowd I want to hang out with, what people I flock to, who I'm gravitated to. I use all that information. It happened for me, not to me, right? It happened for me to push me into the next spot where I might need to be. I love that outlook, and it takes practice to not be
Yeah,
so negative about
that that's
everything.
a that's a good point. It does take practice, which is kind of what we're alluding to throughout this the line of this conversation, is just it takes practice. So you got to embrace it. You got to kind of go get up, get at the plate, pull your bat back, and put in those reps. You know.
Man, sometimes you
Yeah,
take your lickings
boy.
a little bit more, but yeah,
What you got, Daniel?
yeah. What you got there, brother?
I
Besides,
see
I'm
you
gonna go
looking
watch
up like
Bruce
you're looking
Leroy
at
now.
another. Are you watching Bruce Leroy right now?
No, I'm I was actually looking, trying to put together an overlay for the podcast for Christmas is what I was doing.
Oh,
Oh,
gotcha.
hey, sometimes some of that off balance, intentional, and is like, oh, I gotta do something real quick, and you gotta work better under pressure, brother.
Hey,
Some
look at
people
him
learn to do
go.
that.
Merry Christmas, Roland. Drive safe, my man. Looks
Yes,
like he's
sir.
getting ready to head home and leave the office. I think that's his way of saying he's jumping off. So,
This is what he's
So
saying.
I have
Peace
been
to you.
seeing people just talking about they were asking questions, right? Like whose fault is it if the company fails? And everyone points at the CEO. And then they're like, well, whose fault is it if it, succeeds? It's the CEO, and you're just the CEO of your own life, and you have to live that way. And it's just everything comes back. At least for us, it's like to sports, right? If you're a coach, you're in charge of that team, and then you got to make decisions. And sometimes, when we were talking about it earlier on some of the coaches, they keep people in far too long, and it's just like you got to start making decisions and start, whether it's right or it's wrong, it's got to happen. And that's how it is when you come into these crisis moments. It's start making decisions. Don't just sit there and twiddle your thumbs and try and think and be sad, because that's not the right thing to do.
yeah, I'd like
So
to point out that is taking you directly into the technical approach to this topic. And that is, don't like jump into action, leap into action. Um, when something is happens that's disrupting or a problem, like jumping into action and taking those positive steps to either mitigating or solving the problem is key. Just like waiting around. And I got to tell you, like I wish I wish I could tout my horn that I'm really good at that. Like I I have a nice procrastination bone in my body that wants to see what'll happen. I gotta fight it. And I don't know if anybody else in the audience, can resonate with that. But man, I sometimes you let something go on too long. You keep an employee too long, that's maybe poisoning your morale, or you are you get bad news about something, and instead of taking action and kind of leaping into it, keeping that mindset that it's happening for you and not to you, um, sometimes you can procrastinate. But when the best results I've gotten is when I just take it on the chin, and what's the next, what is my exact next step that I can take to improve my current situation.
that's what's that thing I've been seeing? It's about the tornado, the cows and the buffalo. The differences: the cows run away from the tornado, the buffaloes run directly into it, and they get out of it quicker. So they
Yeah,
run
they're
away from
like,
it.
let's hit this thing head on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
run head first into the tornado.
I think a buffalo outruns a cow too. So you know what I mean? Like the cows are a little slower than the buffalo. Buffaloes are like, you know what? We're gonna use our speed to our advantage. Go
Yeah,
straight to this thing.
they might be a little
Get
bit
this over
beefier.
with.
Nate says there's always plenty of time, right up until there isn't any time left.
God, that ought to be on a poster. That's good, Nate.
Man, that is.
Right? And especially when bids are due, right?
Oh my
God,
goodness, dude.
dude, I was
They
the
just
worst. I'm still not the best at like getting all my stuff. I still find I think it's the ADHD you talked about
It is.
earlier.
It
Like I
is.
like to be under pressure.
You
I just
perform better under pressure, right?
yeah, dude, it's so weird. But I don't know that it's the best way to go about it, but I'm like,
Probably not.
man, when the pressure's on, I can get this stuff done like this.
because
And
you
then,
because you hyper focus on it, and right,
yeah,
like it's a challenge. You just challenge yourself.
it's like
Now
all your
I'm
survival instincts, you're not worried about, a a, an ailment, a small ailment that you've been dealing with all of a sudden when a tiger jumps in the room, like you all that stuff's out the window. Like you're dealing with the current like crisis thing, and it gets you to hyper focus and do the right thing much faster, make quick decisions. Um, there's probably a silver lining to that yeah, I do it a lot and I like being there, but I've been conditioned and I do perform very well under those circumstances, those high pressure, high intensity circumstances.
I know that's why government bids are so hard because it's like, hey, we just got this bid invite. It's due in like 45 days, and then like 43 days later, you're like, oh yeah, let me work on that now.
and
Specs this thick and
yeah, and actually, pat on my back is I finally finished the thing that I was trying to create that is actually working right now. Couple little test runs on it because of the ADHD thing and trying to procrastinate is now I can get all the information that I need that I require that I don't have to read through, and I can get something ready to rock and sent out for quote requests and everything all in a couple of drag and drops and a click of a command, and the majority, I would say the majority of the information required is there summarized for me to use in no
beautiful.
damn time. It just I got really mad a couple weeks ago because I was procrastinating on I won't say procrastinating. I would get to a point and I'd be waiting on somebody else for answers, so I would shift gears and start something else, and
Hmm.
then forget about the other project, and like, oh, I got to come back.
Yeah, I've been there
Yeah,
too.
We've all been there.
I'm a systems oriented person, and if something doesn't fall into one of my systems, then I can lose track. I'm constantly trying to find how can I systematize this so I don't mess up more than anything. It's like checklists and to-dos and these things. That's what keeps me. If it's not on my calendar, it's hard. I'm probably not going to be at your Christmas party or whatever it is if it's not on my calendar.
yeah,
Even
but
personal
what
events.
calendar? Which calendar?
Well, I have them all my calendars go to one. All of them depend on different companies that I'm working on. It's maybe it starts here so that my invites or whatever are there,
Yep,
but they all flow to one calendar that I keep track of, and it's all color coded by what company's
yep.
calendar it's coming from. So having multiple companies and doing multiple things and having personal life as well, it all just funnels
Filters to
down to
the
that
one.
one calendar.
Yep, I got that going for me
Otherwise,
now
I'd
too.
be a mess. Well, we have come upon the hour, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you gained something from the topic and our fireside chat about it. I always love just kind of bouncing things back and forth. You guys always bring new stuff that challenges me, and I know on a personal level that we do this in person as well, and it's always I look forward to Tuesdays every Tuesday. So appreciate
Same.
all of our audience for joining in and commenting and joining us on this live show. If you didn't catch it live, guys, go check us out on YouTube. And I don't know why I'm saying that because if you caught us live, you're here, and if you didn't, you're not hearing this anyway.
Go
But if
watch
you're
it
on
again.
YouTube and
If you didn't
you're
catch the
watching
whole
this,
thing, there's ways to get all the information that was talked about today. Is what he's saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I meant. Go catch us on our YouTube channel. Give us a like and subscribe. And remember, we'll
Boom,
be
boom, boom.
Chris, we'll see you up there, buddy. We really appreciate all the comments and participation. Give us a like, a subscribe. I can't get mine to ever do that, but
He's
give
got
us a
a
like,
Mac.
subscribe, and follow us on our socials. So we appreciate you guys so much. Have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy time with family. Take the time to hug the ones you love and
Just reset,
get
man.
prepared for the new year. Do that little reset like Daniel just said. We love you guys and really appreciate you guys so much.
We'll see
It's
you
why we do it.
one more time in 2025.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, guys.